Hello again. In this lesson we'll learn how to use advanced comparatives to give advice and describe experiences. Now, first of all, we can use comparatives to express a direct correlation between two things. For example, we can show that there's an increase in something that results in an increase in something else. For example, we can say the more you study, the better grades you'll obtain, which is a cause and a consequence. So let's look at some other examples of things that we can say using this form. So first of all, the older you get, the wiser you become. Number 3, the more you travel, the more you will open up your mind. Number 4, the harder you work, the greater chances you'll have at succeeding. Number 5, the earlier you leave home, the earlier you get to school. Number 6, the more you exercise, the fitter you'll get. Number 7, the more you like English, the more enjoyable it will be for you to practice it. And finally, number 8, the more you read, the more things you'll learn. So as you can see, we can use this form to express a direct relation. And then obviously we can use these forms to give advice. It's very useful for that. Here are some things that we can do to have a healthier life, for example. And we can create some piece of advice related to that. For example, we can say, the more kindly you treat people, the more respected you will be. Or, the better you sleep, the more energetic you will feel. We can also use advanced comparatives to express a gradual increase. For example, we can say that a condition is going to cause a gradual increase in something else. And here's one example. As time went by, it got darker and darker. Now let's look at some other things that we can say. Number 2, we can say after B2, grammar gets harder and harder. Number 3, as I get older, I become wiser and wiser. Number 4, if you travel, you will increase your culture more and more. Number 5, when you find fun activities, learning becomes more and more enjoyable. Number 6, when you train a sport on a regular basis, you become better and better. And finally, number 7, in C1, lexical choice gets more and more specialized. So this is a way in we can use, this repetition of the comparative to express a gradual increase in something. We can also use this form to give advice or express change. For example, we can, talk about some advice for improving our proficiency, right? And then we can say, if you watch the news every night, you will learn more and more vocabulary. Or, if you study regularly, you'll become more and more proficient. These are some examples of how we can give advice or also express change by using an advanced comparative. Now, we can also use advanced comparatives to talk about an experience and say how much we liked it or not. Let's imagine that there was a movie that we wanted to watch. Now, we just watched it. And then imagine that the experience was positive. So we can say, for example, the movie was slightly better than I expected or better than expected. Here I'm saying that I liked it, but it was just a little more than what I was expecting. We can also say the movie was considerably better than expected or considerably better than I expected. And here we say that it was much better than we expected. If we really, really liked it, we can say it was the best movie ever, or we can say the movie was so good that I'm going to watch it again. But we can also use them to talk about a negative experience. Imagine the same situation, a movie that we wanted to watch it, but we didn't like it. So we can say the movie was not nearly as exciting as I hoped it would be. Or we can say the movie was no better than the previous sequel. Or the movie wasn't any better than the previous sequel. And we can also say the special effects were nowhere near as realistic as I had imagined. Or similarly, we can say that the special effects weren't realistic enough. In this case, we are using these advanced comparatives to describe a negative experience that we had. Let's look at another little example. Imagine that we dated a person that we met online and we feel disappointed. So, first of all, the person was not like really interesting. So we can say in this case, she was no more interesting than she seemed to be online. Or she wasn't any more interesting than she seemed to be online. And if we talk about, like the comparison between how she looked in her profile picture and how she looks in real life, we can also say she was not nearly as pretty as she looked in her profile picture, or she was nowhere near as pretty as she looked in her profile picture. So here we're talking about like a negative experience that we had. And so this is the way in which we can use advanced comparatives. So thanks a lot for your attention, and I will be seeing you next time.